Okay, I'm Peggy. I'm a lawyer in private practice. I have been in practice for too long, maybe, since 1988. And I do litigation, real estate, everything actually, almost everything. I have been doing pro bono work for as long as I can remember. It just naturally comes if there's someone who says they need help, cannot afford to pay. You just cannot turn them away. So I not only learned along the way, got help along the way, but it was like a natural progression. So although as a very young lawyer, when I first started out, crime was not something I wanted to do because I felt I wasn't good enough. Because of the necessity of it, I started doing it and I've never looked back since. It was criminal cases involving young persons or persons with special needs. And for special needs, I'm not referring to, yes, there can be physical disabilities, but I'm also especially referring to those who have invisible special needs. These are persons who do not wear a sign, or a placard to say, I have special needs, but they have special needs like they could be autistic. And for autism, there's already a very wide continuum. So some present in a very low functioning way, where you can tell that perhaps they're in a world of their own. But some look just like you and me, but they have special needs. And when they offend, when they get into trouble, they need help. They really need help because they cannot articulate themselves. Even taking instructions from them is a challenge because you need to know where they're coming from in order to know what exactly, how the incident happened, so that I can know how to help them. I have been in contact, and it was one referral to another, one friend, another friend. Oh, Peggy, you're a lawyer. Can you help? Can you help? And then it just goes on. So I have been in contact with parents of special needs children, and by children, I'm not talking about the young ones. I'm talking about the young adults. They need help because they have offended. The parents cannot afford legal representation, and one after another, I find them being referred to me, and at which point do you say no? And how can I say no? Because then who's going to help them? Because they cannot afford legal fees. One of the cases that just hit me, even though I've been in practice for so long, that case involved a 15-year-old boy charged with a variety of offences. And one particular moment when I was in court with him, then he comes and he tells, and then the mother says there's been a new development. He's just become a father. And I was like, okay, then after I recovered, then how am I going to tell the judge? Well, of course, I just go and tell the judge. And then in court, there I am, his lawyer standing there. My client is there, flanked by policemen. His father, because he's a juvenile, so his parents have to be there. His father is brought up. His father is in his prison overalls, shackled. So the father, incarcerated. My client, 15-year-old boy, flanked by policemen. And his mother, who's younger than me, bouncing his baby and his very new wife waiting outside. And just standing behind me, just standing behind him, I just felt that it was so surreal and that this really ought not to happen. But there it is. And that case took quite some doing as well because he had a total of some 18 charges and then after that another 2 more. But in the end there was a twist, but the family was able to move on. So, not without sadness on my partner. So each one of these cases, does take something out of me. A child who grows into a young adult does not choose to have autism. And if that condition is managed, if there are resources in the family that helps and early intervention is given, yes, that would be helped. But what about those cases where there are no funds? So this is where pro bono help comes in. And this is why I feel compelled to help class AHPBS, because these cases are really for persons who cannot afford legal fees and yet need legal representation very badly. It is a dire need.